Captain Logan, and here's Jayson. Jayson and I just had a trip this last weekend to Wisconsin. We've been traveling a lot the last couple of weeks. Jayson got into basketball this year, and we had to do back-to-back basketball tournaments. So the first week, we went to Nebraska, and then last week we had to drive double time what it took to get to Nebraska and go to Wisconsin. It was an 8.5-hour trip one way from here. We live in the Kansas City area. We're in a city called Lenexa, and Jayson and I stopped on our way there in some places in Iowa, which is a state that I'm a little more familiar with than Nebraska or Wisconsin. I actually never been to Wisconsin.
Yeah,
that was my first time in that state.
I've never been in Nebraska either, so.
So you're getting around a little bit.
Yeah.
But we stopped at one of the Mayhem locations. Mayhem was a store that I covered on the Midwestern panels and was one of the reasons I wanted to do that trip and that movie because I was introduced to that store when I was a kid by my stepdad, the original in Ames, Iowa, and really hit it off with the owner there and on the trip, and had such a wonderful time at that store. And I've been wanting to go to the other location ever since he mentioned it in that movie. We shot that 8 years ago now, and finally was able to, or I guess 9 years ago, and finally we were able to check it out on this trip. We were going to go to Ames, and it was that location was a little closer, and I had not been there before. And as usual with these kind of things, I spent a little bit too much money at that store. But whenever I go to Mayhem, I like to pick up a grab bag. They put together some cool ones, and I like grab bags. Obviously, they're super hit and miss. That's kind of the idea of them. You don't know what you're going to wind up with. You don't know if you're going to end up with stuff that you're going to care about or that you have already that end up giving you duplicates in your collection. But
if you get any duplicates, then I get them.
Sure, yeah.
Yay.
But I expect this one to be mostly new stuff, and I haven't been actively collecting current, recent stuff in the last 3 or 4 years. So
that's why I think this will be fun, because it'll be like, why is that a thing?
Yeah. We will probably see some things that I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I didn't get a kids one this time. I just got the regular grab bag of 10 books. So I don't know if there'll be anything in there that you'll care about. Not that you only like kids comics, but
and I didn't. You told me to grab one, and I didn't grab one of the mature ones. I just grabbed like the normal one either. So
is there a mature one?
Yeah, there's like a kid one, and then a normal one, and a mature one.
I didn't even see that. But Rob told me because we actually talked about the grab bags when I first met him, and he mentioned that they don't put super mature stuff in the regular boxes. But anyway, so we'll take a look at that.
That's why there's a mature one.
But first, we'll show you some of the other stuff we got at that store. I was surprised not to have a copy in my collection, and this is assuming that my database was right. But I carry a database on my phone with an app that is presumably to date or mostly to date, and I was surprised not to have a copy of the first issue of Volume 3 Silver Surfer, and I have a lot of this collection, but according to my phone anyway, I did not have a Silver Surfer #1, and that's remiss. Look, it's a giant Galactus head.
That's a cool cover.
That's a wonderful cover, yeah. And kind of a famous one relatively at this point. But he had a real good looking copy for just $6, so I went ahead and picked that up. Really reasonable prices on even their not recent Mac issues.
Yeah.
So had to grab that. Even if it turns out I've already got a copy of this, it's probably not in quite as good a shape as this one. So, and I guess if I have one, I'll let you have it because you're wanting all my duplicates now for some reason.
Well, because you don't want duplicates probably. So.
Oh, you know what? I'll just hand you these instead of throwing them all the way over here on my desk.
Okay.
Brightburns, hey Cap, your hair has gotten long, man. It has. When I go out without a haircut for months, my hair becomes almost like an afro. Well, mine does not. It just ends up looking like this. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to grow up before I start trimming it a little bit. But I am planning on keeping it long. I really like it. I'm probably not going to go back at this point. Jayson, I also got the Tick new series #5.
Oh, you did?
Turns out I only had a couple of issues of this.
Oh.
This series went for 11 issues before the Tick #100, the crossover with Invincible, which I actually reviewed on Not Spawn Year. And I should mention, by the way, one of the reasons I wanted to do the grab bag thing was I'm going to try to review at least one of the books in this grab bag for Not Spawn Year. So I kind of bought it for that. But yeah, so keeping my Tick collection going. And then Jayson and I got a couple of sketch covers. Jayson got and I haven't thumbed through this. I have no idea what is in this book, but this is a Star Trek IDW book. This is Star Trek #1 from probably a couple of years ago. I'm not sure how far back this one goes, and I haven't opened this, so it's just a blank cover. But Jayson wanted to try his hand at doing a sketch himself on a sketch cover.
Ooh, I did.
What are you thinking about putting on it?
I'm thinking about putting the I'm thinking about either doing a thing of like a captain in a chair, or probably what I'm actually gonna do is do the ship and the big hand in the sky.
Oh, cool. I thought you'd do some kind of like crazy mashup thing. But
yeah,
I really like
that
you're thinking about just doing a Star Trek cover.
I thought it would be cool if I did one of those crazy things that happen in one of the Star Trek ones in space, because I kind of just wanted to do the ship, but I was like, I didn't know what else. And I was like, well, do I want to do like the hand, or do I want to do the big like sock?
Or you could do Abraham Lincoln.
That's what that was.
Savage Curtain.
Yeah.
Ian Chandler, I've only read the Edlin one of the Tick, or the newer series worth reading. Tick new series certainly is. It's not, I mean, it's not exactly my favorite flavor for the Tick, but I think it's got a really good voice, and it plays around with some characters that I wasn't familiar with until I got to that series. So I think it's really good. It's not Edlin good, but I like it. And then some of the miniseries from right around and just after the Edlin run are quite good and worth looking at, like the Tick's Back and stuff like that. Here is another sketch cover. I went ahead and it's funny because I don't collect Spawn anymore, but I went ahead and grabbed a Spawn sketch cover just because Jayson had the idea of my having an artist. We may be going to Planet Comic-Con in a couple weeks. I haven't decided yet, because we're also doing a pinball convention at the end of the month, and I don't know if I want to do 2 cons in a row, so we still haven't decided if we're going. But if we go, my tradition now at conventions is getting sketch covers done. And I was just finding an artist that I'm liking what they're drawing, and I'll come up with a cool mashup or just a character I like. And Jayson said, well, why don't you get a Spawn and have somebody do an Angela? And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, because I like Angela. And I think your idea was McFarlane Angela versus Marvel Angela.
Yeah.
Which I probably won't ask anybody to do, because that's a lot to draw for a sketch cover.
You also had the idea of maybe doing a Spawn year.
Doing some kind of Spawn year sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea,
Which
too.
I also think would be cool.
And then I grabbed a couple of Power Ranger covers. Here is Ninja Turtles Power Rangers 2, number 3. And I just liked this Leonardo Blue Ranger cover, so I went ahead and bought that. And then I also got Power Rangers number 105 with Rita and Green Ranger. Nice classic looking image there. Who drew this sketch cover? Or not sketch, pardon me. This variant. Polina Ganuchow. A name I'm not immediately familiar with, but I like her work. It looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and do this grab bag, Jayson.
Yay!
Are you ready, sir?
Should I put this down here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay, Jayson, give me a couple of guesses at just titles or characters you think will be in this box.
Batman, maybe a Power
Almost certainly,
Rangers.
because that's all DC publishes anymore, it feels like.
And then some kind of like weird like pirate thing.
Okay, right on top, we have an ad for the Agent Carter TV show, which suggests that they're going to not as recent back issues, because that's like a decade ago now. Oh, and something else I didn't mention is apparently these also come with a trade. So you get 10 regular issues and a trade.
Cool. What do you think the trade is? I think it's going to be Ninja Turtles.
I think it's going to be some indie thing I've never heard of.
Okay.
Unless this says it's only Marvel and DC, but I don't think it is. By the way, they called this a booster pack for comic collecting. Putting it, that's a good idea in trying to advertise these and move these. You treat it like, because that's also a big game store. So you put it in like game terms. It's a booster pack.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's find out what this Oh, it's this is the trade, in fact. So I thought this was an ad for that show. It's not. This actually is the book. This is Operation Sin, which was a spin-off of Original Sin. Yeah, and I have not read this, so
that's also like a decade old.
And yeah, and we're using the Agent Carter TV show to sell it, and it says at the bottom, watch the TV series. And I agree, watch at least the first season of the TV series. It gets a little bit off the rails by second season, but it's the only show from ABC and certainly pre-Netflix, but it's one of the only shows that I would like to consider still canonical with the MCU. And the Netflix shows, I kind of, at this point, don't really care if they count or not. Like, some of them are great, and some of them in some of those seasons are just absolutely awful, but they can stand on their own okay. Agent Carter was all about doing a lot of world building for that universe, and I kind of don't like losing it, but anyway. So there's that. And also there's a very clear reference to it in Endgame, so it's difficult to believe that it doesn't count.
Marvel's latest leading lady takes the spotlight. Great.
That's right. Cool. Okay, so take that. Okay, so our first single issue is from DC. It's Wonder Girl #3. And who might you be? I have that question about you. I didn't know that this was a series. So yeah, I'm not going to have anything to say about a lot of these probably. I'm just going to show you what they are. But yeah, Wonder Girl. This is Jones. Is that Kelly Jones? Who is that? I'm not sure. I'm not in love with this art, though. This is looking like the very reason I'm not reading a lot of current comics right now, to be perfectly honest with you. But, yeah, this is from a couple of years ago because there's an ad for the Snyder Cut on the back.
Oh, the Snyder Cut. I thought that was 2017.
Oh, hi, Brian. Good to see you, man.
I thought that was the original on the back.
Oh, okay. Heroes Reborn. This is Hyperion and the Imperial Guard. I've reviewed some stuff with Hyperion before. Plus a tale of the Starjammers. Great. But yeah, that's related to what, Supreme Power and all that stuff. And then more Heroes Reborn.
Heroes Reborn.
I don't know if they came back and did another Heroes Reborn. This is from 21. Night Gwen.
What?
Again, this is the kind of thing that's the reason I'm not reading a lot of current these days. We take an idea that worked, that sold real well for 5 minutes, and we just milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
Gotta have as many Gwens as possible.
Yeah.
Night Gwen. You think at some point Night Gwen will get like her own actual superhero name, like what happened with Spider-Gwen and Ghost Spider?
Ghost Spider.
Milestone returns. Welcome back, Milestone. Here's Static, Season 1.
What?
#2. No, it's not like a whole season in a comic book, but it's... Yeah, I didn't even know they were doing this. So yeah, Static Shock came back. And Milestone entirely came back. Interesting.
Cool.
From Kaboom Comics, it's Orcs!
Orcs!
Didn't know about this either.
I want to read that.
Orcs. Okay, this looks like kind of an all-ages thing, maybe? Christine Larson. This looks like your kind of thing, maybe.
That looks kind of like Bone, kind of.
It's a little bone-ish.
He's kind of bone-ish, not... Just kind of, like, story-esque, and how, like, they're always in, like the caves. And
it's kind of storybookish, kind of fairy tale-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks fun. Well, there's one for Jayson.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was going to be any all-ages type stuff in there, but there it is.
Although that's #6.
You predicted a Batman. Here's a Batman.
There's a Batman.
This is from Tinian. Just after King left the book. This is Batman 109, and I've not been actively collecting Batman lately, so I don't have this. So that's cool. I've heard mediocre things about his short tenure on this book, and it's James Tinian, and I've always found him somewhat lackluster. He's written some stuff that I find really fun. I just don't think he's a great writer or anything. What do you think of the art here?
It's okay.
It's just okay. I agree.
What?
Okay, well that one I'll take a look at. You know what? I might go ahead and throw this in the pile for Bat March, for not Spawn Year. And then from so this is about Earth 3, number 6 of 6, Crime Syndicate.
Oh, we got the last issue.
We got the last issue. Thanks, Elite. We get to spoil what happens in this whole miniseries. This looks interesting.
What
Just all this stuff I didn't know about.
Superman symbol was like backwards. Why is it backwards?
Because that's
It's like
Ultraman.
sideways. Oh, it's Ultra.
Yes.
Oh, he's got a U on his.
Because he's from an evil version of the Justice League from another universe.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know, this feels a lot like being encased in ice for several decades.
Yeah.
And then coming out and being like, oh, I wonder what's happening in comics. Oh, this is all very strange. What is it? What is this? Okay, we'll look at this in a minute. That's very strange. From Image, you know what? I like this assortment, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different houses. There's a lot of different kinds of things, different genres. These guys do a good job. I want to get some more grab bags. This will be the way, Jason, that I'll learn what's happening in comics. It's just I'll buy random issues.
Yeah.
Compass, the Cauldron of Eternal Life.
Whoa.
Issue 2 from Image. And yeah, I have no idea what creator-owned stuff is going on in Image anymore. So, I'll take a look at that. I wonder what kind of book this is. I'm not going to show you that yet. Let's see. Pretty sketchy art style. Looks okay. This is Robert McKenzie and David Walker with art by Justin Greenwood.
I like that art style.
That is a name that rings a bell, but I don't immediately know anything I've read from him, if anything. Okay, and then finally from DC, we have... Oh, this is a number 1. We have FaZe Clan. What? And again, somehow I haven't heard of this. FaZe Clan?
It's a Batman thing.
Batman... Oh, Batman / FaZe Clan. Is this some kind of a... Oh, Batman / FaZe space clan? I don't know what this is. Sorry, I have no idea what this is. Okay, this is from just last year. Look how expressive this Batman is. Look, that's his thinking face. He's thinking, folks. FaZe Clan. Spring says, oh god, no. Oh, hi, Magpie. Yeah, I was watching Talkville. I'm a few episodes behind, but I will try to get back to that. This art is fun, though. What is happening?
What is...
FaZe Up?
FaZe Up.
I don't know what this is.
Look at all the guys with FaZe Clan VR headsets.
VR headsets.
What?
We're putting this in Not Spawn Year.
What is... What?
Yeah, what is happening?
That's gonna be a bad
Oh, look what happened to Riddler. Look at his giant belt.
Oh, it's a gaming team. I knew I had heard of them.
And Hayden Spring says it's very cringy. I'm totally reading this though. I don't hate this art, and it's a real classic looking Joker. So is this sort of like the Fortnite thing? You know, they're doing the Fortnite crossover that was either really popular or DC sold it so hard it looks popular. I'm not sure.
But the weird thing about FaZe Clan is that they're a gaming team. Like they play
like the real life.
Yeah, they're gamers.
It's a real thing. Yeah.
Why do?
It's like if a YouTube channel was crossed over into a comic book.
Yeah, it's just like new comic, Batman versus PewDiePie. Like.
Yeah. Imagine if Red Letter Media was in a Star Wars comic.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Okay, and then so I don't know. This was a fun, bizarre assortment. Nothing in this immediately excites me. Like, this looks great. I can't wait to read it. It's more just curiosity about the weirdness going on in comics. This Compass thing looks okay, but not really my cup of tea. And this Orcs book will probably be fun for you.
Yeah.
The rest of this, I'm kind of curious about what Night Gwen is, I guess. Maybe I'll also take a look at that in Not Spawn Year after Bat March. But other than that, and that's not a bad trade. So anyway, besides the grab bag and the single issues we showed you, the other thing that we got, we'll just show you this real briefly for anybody that will happen to care. The main thing that we bought at Mayhem is new expansions for the Power Rangers deck builder. So I am all in on the Heroes of the Grid board game, which I've talked about a lot and we've done streams for on the channel, but we also buy the deck builder. I haven't been as involved in that. We've only played it a couple of times so far. So we have the Mighty Morphin box, the original deck builder box, and then we have the Zeo box. And then there have been a few expansions since then that you can't play on your own, that are just cards that you add to it. And I had been waiting on those because we haven't been playing the game much, and I wasn't sure how deep we wanted to get into it. And we've been playing the DC deck builder more, so I didn't feel the need to buy them right away or pre-order them. But they had the bonus cards, the bonus packs for free with these, so I'm saving a little bit of money buying them locally. And also, I just get excited when Renegade Power Rangers is in a physical store, because a lot of people don't carry them. But Jayson, how much Renegade Power Rangers was at that shop?
Oh, almost a lot of it. Like 2 whole shelves of it.
Yeah, not to mention all the RPG stuff.
Yeah.
They had a lot of the pencil and paper RPG books.
Yeah.
And the dice and even the figure set and all that. So we got the 3 expansions that are out right now, and there's a couple more to pre-order, which I'll probably get eventually. But here is the Omega expansion and the In Space expansion, which they're calling Flying Higher. I'm not sure why they're not just calling that In Space, which makes me think that there's probably some other Cosmic Power Ranger stuff that's not related to space that's in this. Or maybe there's some Lightspeed Rescue. Not Lightspeed Rescue. Maybe there's some Lost Galaxy. I don't know, but...
I mean, that's just a space.
Well, what's on the box, like what's on the cover, but it just makes me wonder if there's maybe some other stuff in it that's not...
Just because it's called Flying Higher?
Yeah, well, and on the side, it's got Divatox.
It does?
Divatox is in there.
And it's got,
and it's
also got a Zeo character, so it doesn't really...
What do you mean?
It's also got King Mondo, so that doesn't...
Oh yeah, Mondo is in there.
And Finster,
sure. So it's not just space, is kind of the point I'm making.
But those characters were already in the game. Is the point that I'm making.
Divatox is already in the game?
Not Divatox, but just... That doesn't mean that she's going to be in the game. Like, I think that's... The sides are just because that's...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Those are characters that are in the game or will be in the game maybe.
I don't think you're right about that. I would be surprised if they're on the box and they don't end up being cards in here. I think it's called that because it's not going to be just space, but we'll find out. Because it's also got a Z-Staff, and I think this box maybe has, what's-his-face, Lord Zed's son? Thrax, yeah, but I'm not sure. And then here is RPM, which is not in the board game yet. But they just announced an expansion that is going to have Dr. K, and it sounds like, by the way, I didn't tell you about this, but it's sounding more and more like the next big thing they're doing after that is indeed, for the board game, is indeed SPD, which is something that you've been wanting and predicting for quite a while now.
Yep.
So anyway, so we got those, and we'll break into those and start trying to play that again soon. Maybe we'll do a video on that game at some point for the 5 people that will care. I thought about going ahead and popping those open and taking a look at cards. You know, we've only been broadcasting about 25 minutes, and I know you got to get back and do schoolwork, but let's pop open the Flying Higher expansion real quick and just see if I'm right about that. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know, because that is a space reference, so that's why
we won't go through every card or anything, and we won't go through the other boxes right now, but we've got a couple minutes left to hang out with you guys. Okay, so here's the booklet for any extra rules, probably. Jayson, how do you feel so far about this game? We've only played it a couple of times.
It's not as good as the DC deck builder, but it's still really fun.
Okay, so here's your oversized character cards. The main mechanic of this game has you attaching cards to the sides of your large character card that stay in play and you tap them to do things, which is kind of a cool gimmick that's different from other deck builders I've played. Okay, so we have Astronema and Ecliptor and Darkonda. The Psycho Rangers just get their own card. We have, so you can play as just the Psycho Rangers, apparently. The United Alliance of Evil. That's cool. And to be fair, those other villains that are on the box, yeah, they are in the pilot, and I think they come back bookended. But here's Andros and Carlos. So yeah, you know, the Space Rangers. TJ, Ashley, Cassie, everybody's favorite Sixth Ranger, Zane.
No.
Oh, hey, look, there's Zordon.
You can play as Zordon right before he dies.
I don't think you play as Zordon.
Spoiler alert.
But you can use the Z-Wave and kill him. That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Destroy 2 cards attached to your character and remove Zordon from the game. Each foe discards all villains and masters attached to their character, then remove 2 conquest tokens from Dark Spectre. He does precisely what he does at the end of the show. He kills all the villains. In the show, he turns them good, but yeah. There's Dark Spectre, and there's tokens that are Dark Spectre's head, which is cool. So yeah, there's the character cards. Hey, the Spring Jayson, would RPM be better if Dr. K was the Silver Ranger? Maybe Gold could be the Colonel or somebody else. Jim and Gemma annoy me.
Oh yeah, Jim and Gemma suck, but I don't think Dr. K would be much better for the sole reason that she would just lead the whole team, and that team has a great Red Ranger. Or,
That's true.
I haven't watched in a while. I can't remember if Black Ranger is the leader or if Red Ranger is the leader.
Give me just a second. Give me just a second. Sorry, it's too bad we're not separately mic'd. Okay, let's just take a look at cards real quick. So we got our Astro Blaster. Here's our Rangers. Again, I'm not going to show every card here. I kind of just want to see who's in here. Here's the regular Zords from space. Zords. The Megas. Mega.
Quantrons.
The Mega Winger. Quantrons. And then Finster. Divatox. So we've got some new cards for characters that were already in the game, like you mentioned on the side of the box. But like I said, I figured they would be in here. So there's another Rita.
That's weird. I don't know why they did
There's another Mondo. There's another Zed. Okay, so the Z-Staff is Zed. Ecliptor, Astronema, Darkonda, Psycho Rangers again, United Alliance of Evil, Star Charts, Galaxy Glider, Laser Eyes. Gotta have those.
If
look, now this game also has a snap kick, Jayson.
If Dark Lifter isn't in there, I'm gonna
It would be weird if they didn't do that. Because one of the things that's nice about the deck builder game is because it's a very different kind of game, it lets them put in material that hasn't really translated. It hasn't made sense to try to translate to the board game.
Right.
So, like, people have wanted, what's it called? Serpentera in the board game somehow forever, but it just doesn't make any sense to have that, because it's basically a Zord, and, I mean, so is Cyclopsis, but it would be huge, but it is in this game.
They should have made it
is the point I'm making.
Like a big boss, like, Cyclopsis.
Onyx, Dark Fortress, Spiral Saber, so all the signature weapons, Satellite Stunner. I don't see Dark Clipter.
What?
Yeah, there's no Dark Clipter. They didn't do it. Jayson's like, I'm done. We shouldn't have bought this. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that, Jayson.
It's not a great... I don't know. I don't think that's the best box, because they could have put so much stuff. It's like they watched, like, the pilot And then we're like, okay, we'll put every single character that's in the pilot. And then they didn't put anything else in.
I don't disagree with that criticism. That's what it looks like. But we'll see how the cards actually play in the game, and if they enhance things enough. Because what's much more important, of course, is gameplay.
Yeah.
Hayden Spring, how was Iowa? Did you catch the Iowa-Illinois disease where you complain constantly about how much it sucks to live there, but you never leave? No, we did get out, so that didn't happen. But yeah, it was fine. I was boring to drive through, but I'm used to it. I've done it enough times now. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get going, but thanks for being here, folks, watching this afternoon or taking a look at this after the fact. I will be back late tonight. I've actually got to go do some reading now because Austin and I are doing Far Sector tonight for the Request, which is a Green Lantern book from DC's Young Animal line that came out a couple years ago. That was what was requested for today, and it's 12 issues, and I'm only a few in, so I got to go read the rest of that.
Oh, okay, goodbye.
But thanks again for being here, and then tomorrow night we'll do another Captain Logan show. And Friday night, Austin and I haven't decided exactly what we're doing yet, but it'll be something Batman-related, certainly, so we'll announce that real soon. Anyway, we're going to get going, but I was Captain Logan. This was Jayson.
That was me!
Bye, guys.